He said, yeah.
I can't talk. No pressure to start. If it's already that's all it's saying. All the struggles that we went through.
We're going to call the November 24th meeting of the Hickman County Legislative Body to order. The clerk would call the roll.
Ron Mayberry.
Here.
Ron Puckett.
Here.
Ricky Murray.
Here.
Keith Nash.
Here.
Devin Pickard.
Here.
Matthew Barnhill.
Here.
Paul Calcott.
Here.
Clay Chester. Here. Danny Clark.
Here.
Todd Collins.
Here.
Wayne Thomason.
Here.
Steve Janakis. Here. Jim Herron. Dusty Jordan.
Here.
13 present, 1 absent.
13 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum. If you'll rise. Commissioner Collins is going to lead us in our opening prayer, and Sheriff Jason Kraft will lead us in the opening pledge.
Let's pray. Most gracious and wonderful Heavenly Father, we realize one of the greatest things that we have is to come before you in prayer. Heavenly Father, as we approach your throne, we ask that we say the right things and do the right things. Remember each other. Heavenly Father, as we walk through this week, and we remember that this is the week of Thanksgiving, and we remember all of the things that we have that we're so thankful for. We're thankful for those that come before us and put us in this position, whether they were our loved ones or those that were in the process of doing what we're doing and overlooking and seeing and into the future, and we pray that we have that vision too. We ask you to forgive us of our sins. We ask that you protect those that are protecting us. And Heavenly Father, we ask that all things we do here tonight will bring honor and glory to your name. And it's through your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners, you received in your packet an agenda for tonight's meeting. The chair would entertain a motion in regards to that agenda. Commissioner Puckett.
I'll make a motion to change resolution 2533 and put it just after the approval of the agenda.
I have a motion to move 2533 to right after the approval of the agenda. Is there any objection to that? We'll consider it moved. Any other items in regards to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Make sure everybody understands, there was an error in the agenda, and that is, behind resolution 2533, it says that this was like the first hearing at the commission. That was something that should not have been in there, so please make sure you strike that and don't anticipate that. So we have the agenda modified, moving resolution 2533 after the approval of the agenda. Have a motion by Commissioner Giannakis to accept that and move it forward. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Chester. Any discussion on the agenda as amended? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, resolution 2533 is sponsored by Commissioner Puckett and Commissioner Pickard. Do either of you wish to speak to this matter? Commissioner Pickard.
If it's convenient, if Ms. Sydney Irwin and any of her family and any law enforcement representative would like to come forward, if you would, and just sort of right here in front of these double podiums, and you can face the audience. Any law enforcement officers would like to come forward. Hickman County, Tennessee, resolution number 2533, requesting the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee to designate a portion of Highway 100 East in Hickman County, Tennessee as the Central Police Chief Shannon Irwin Memorial Highway. Whereas a certain section of State Highway 100 East lies within Hickman County, and whereas Chief Shannon Irwin was a respected citizen of Hickman County, and it's the desire of the community and this legislative body to honor his memory and lasting contribution to our county and country. And whereas Shannon Irwin served as Central Police Chief and served not only Central, but the county with great honor and integrity. And whereas the Hickman County Highway Commission unanimously voted to move forward with renaming of a portion of Highway 100 to Central Police Chief Shannon Irwin Memorial Highway. Whereas the Hickman County Legislative Body is desirous of petitioning the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee to designate such a section of highway as noted, and will pass such resolution by a 2/3 majority of its members. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Hickman County Legislative Body meeting this 28th day of November 2025. That's section 1. We hereby encourage our representatives to the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, namely Senator Kerry Roberts and Representative Jody Barrett, to draft, sponsor, and work for passage legislation to design the aforementioned section of Highway 100 East at the River Park Bridge from Highway 50 West in Hickman County, the Chief Shannon Irwin Memorial Highway. Said legislation should also direct the Tennessee Department of Transportation to erect suitable or feasible following the passage of the relevant state legislations. The Hickman County Mayor is hereby directed to furnish certified copies of this resolution to aforementioned representatives of the State of Tennessee General Assembly at their offices in Nashville, Tennessee. This resolution shall become effective upon its passage by a 2/3 majority vote, the welfare of the citizens of Hickman County requiring it. We are honored to honor Chief Irwin and his family and his co-workers this evening.
Does any other commissioner have any? If not, since this requires a 2/3 vote, we'll have to take a roll call.
Ron Mayberry,
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
Yes.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
Yes.
Paul Callicott,
Yes.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Danny Clark,
Yes.
Todd Collins,
Yes.
Wayne Thomason,
Yes.
Steve Janakis,
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
13 yes and 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. The resolution is adopted. Would you hand me that? Yours up. Sounds great. We have, next item on the agenda is the public comment period. We have several that have signed up to speak to this. Because of the number, we're going to limit your talks to 3 minutes. I will remind you that this is to address a resolution or an item that's going to come up before us tonight, and that's what everybody has done. So, first person to speak, just going down the list, is Mr. Chris Clark.
Commissioners, fellow county residents, thank you very much for your time. I know there are a lot of time. I'll keep it brief and I haven't used my full 3 minutes. Last week I had an opportunity to address this body and raise some concerns that I had over the current future land use plan as written. During that time we were asked by Commissioner Calicut if we would go ahead and what would we change about it. The following day, myself and a few other farmers and homesteaders in the community had a meeting. We all put our heads together. We came up with some amendment suggestions. I know a lot of people have forwarded that to their commissioners. Over the course of this last week, I've personally been able to talk to more than one of you regarding some of those adoptions and proposed amendment changes that would please the majority of the people who had various objections to the plan. Strongly hope that as commissioner bodies that you strongly consider those amendments and at least recognize that something there needs to change before consideration. And that going forward, those 2 amendments specifically would address the zoning size of the minimum transfer size and eliminate the language of 3 to 15 acres and bring it down to 1 and make that a 1 acre. The second proposed amendment would be that, which is actually just in accordance with zoning now. The second proposed amendment would be to go ahead and add in the verbiage for must meet with capacity studies for all of the future infrastructure, such as schools, EMS, fire, roads, potable water, sewer, septic, or sewage alternative, any of those things that we have before planning and use can be zoned. That would actually allow the county to say, if you want to build something, we actually have a legal right to deny the plan if what you're proposing to build would exceed capacity for the area you're wishing to build it in. That would actually prevent the county from absorbing the hard cost of having to put those pieces of infrastructure in itself just to make that happen. So those are the 2 proposed amendment changes. Then also during those discussions, it came up with commissioners that if you propose some similar amendments to that, and then table the vote for 60 days, that would give citizens and commissioners ample time for review before they considered any further amendments. That's all I have, and thank you for taking my time. Thank you. I do that.
The next person to speak is Mr. Mark Falls, and it's on the land use plan.
Give it a little, pass it down. Thank you, commissioners, for allowing us to speak today. The last time I spoke was about Pinewood EMS, and that still isn't completed. Kind of like a business plan. In order to forecast the future, you have to look at the past. So I'm just going to kind of assume that you may or may not pay attention, but if you don't mind, try to listen at least to what I got to say. On page 43 of the land use plan, one of the goals is to expand sewer alternatives, and water coverage to meet growing demand in north to east Hickman. And there's other criteria to meet that. That is one of the goals in the land use plan. The last sheet that I gave you, on the designated zones, this is, the comprehensive growth plans and the land use plans for planned growth area. The compact sections outside incorporated municipalities and outside growth boundaries where high or moderate density growth is expected. If there are such areas in the county, new corporations may occur. If you look below that, under number 3, where it says several factors must be taken into account to determine the boundaries of these 3 areas, and the planned growth area is one of them. It said current and projected cost of infrastructure, urban services, and public facilities needed for development and methods to finance these needs. Now below that, the TCA, there's a state law down there. It's 6-58-106A. And pay attention, if you will, to that. Mr. Collicott said that you guys have counsel, and I highly recommend that he reads this law. In B1 of 6-58-106A, and B1 it says each planned growth area of a county shall. And we know, in real estate especially, in contracts, if it says shall, it shall. Like it shall, how. And so it's saying that we need to have projected costs of infrastructure, we need to have public facilities needed for development and methods to finance these needs. How are we gonna finance it? How you?
The next person on the public comment period is Miss, and I apologize, it's Carol Vaughn, I believe. Miss Vaughn?
Yes, my name is Carolyn Vaughn, and I live out on Bates Trail in Niles. And I just want to say that I oppose this R1 rezoning. The roads are narrow, have blind spots on it. And I appreciate you all listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. The next person is Mr. Chris Gillum. He is talking, speaking in regards to the Bates Trail rezoning.
I'm Chris Gillum. I live on Bates Trail and I oppose the R1, and the road is narrow and has the blind spots. And thanks for listening to me.
The next person to speak is Mr. Ronnie George in regards to the land use plan.
Last time I spoke, I asked y'all a question, because that's what we were doing, asking questions. What this zoning change would do for future people and youngsters in this community. I didn't get the first answer. I cornered a couple of people on the sidewalk, and then I asked them, I said, y'all didn't give me an answer, and they finally give me an answer. So, that kind of hurt my feelings, because nobody here could speak to what the benefit was to changing the rules. And if you look, and you can Google it, the kids nowadays are no kids. They said the average homeowner, first-time homeowner, is 40 years old. And you can Google it, you don't have to believe me. 40 years old. I bought my farm when I was 26 because I had a help. And I'm telling you, if you take away the 1 acre that your grandparent or the uncle or their other kinfolks could help them with, because that's collateral. When they go to the bank, they gotta have collateral. Even if somebody co-signs, you've gotta have collateral. And you're robbing them of it, because we do better than most of the country, because they've got rules like this right here. You can't make 3 acres. I mean, who can afford 3 acres? I heard Ricky say that 17,000, his son-in-law, $17,000 an acre. We do the math on 3 acres, 17,000. I mean, you gotta think about, that's what I always think about, not myself. I always think about the future generations. And what good could y'all do as a county commission? How can you help those folks? 3 acres ain't it, 15 acres ain't it, 5 acres wasn't it. And you keep hiding, dancing around this thing, kicking the can down the road, and y'all done this for a year and a half, maybe going on 2. But if somebody asked those people to do the study for the 5 acres, they didn't just pull that out of thin air. Paid them people $200,000, and what do you got? Oh, but tell me, I mean, if y'all, I know you can't speak to me now, but later on, put some thought to it. Tell me what you got for $200,000. All right.
The next person to speak is Mr. Dwight Sullivan in regards to the land use plan.
Well, thank you, members of the legislative body, for letting me speak again. I spoke last Monday at the meeting. My concern also is the 3 to 15 acre plan. I went back and read this plan, hopefully the right one. I know you've got a revised plan. I hope I was reading the right one. But if you're looking at the, it seems like you're trying to restrict growth 3 to 15 acres on an area that's already less than 10%. If any of those areas grow, and the majority of them has actually decreased in population, or 0 to 25%. So it kind of behooves me to sit and try to figure out why you would want to limit property to 3 to 15 acres when it was already decreasing in population over the last 20 years. And people that's made this plan is a lot smarter than I am, and I think they've done a heck of a job. I'm going to disagree with Ronnie a little bit. The state asked for data, they've asked for numbers, and I think there's a good, all the population numbers and things, good data. That's what they want. They want to know where the electricity's at, where the water's at. Like the other gentleman said, where's, what we're going to do about utilities, especially in that growth area. I think it's legitimate concerns, but the big deal tonight, I think, last Monday there was a motion that would be, there was a comment made that there'd be a motion to amend that to 1 acre. I don't know what that process is. I don't know if it means you've got to put off voting on the growth plan until you get that included in it, or whether it can just be amended here tonight and vote on it. As of tonight, that's the only real plan, only problem I have is that 3 to 15 acres in that preservation, I think it is. So just consider that, think about it. Thank you.
The next person to speak is Miss Kathy Redden, and she's speaking in regards to the land use plan.
Dwight, I can answer your question on the amendment. I'm Kathy Winters Redden, a District 4 citizen, voter, and property owner. I have a few things that I feel that needs to be addressed, so lend me your ear for just a few minutes. I am disgusted to hear a commissioner make mention, where was everyone during the planning meetings? I've not attended the planning meetings because for the last 3 years, I've been homebound and wheelchair bound. I am not 2 weeks post-op from major reconstructive back surgery, and against my surgical instructions, I am here. So please do not insult the people you are supposed to serve by blaming us for the restrictive legislations getting this far. This is a creation of our zoning committee and not of the people, in my opinion. I keep hearing, go to your commissioners, they serve you. Well, that only works if the commissioner will listen and value the opinion of the one he serves. Not all of us have that luxury. Most of us have to work our entire adult working lives to pay for a home and a small parcel of land instead of our parents giving us what we have today. If you inherited your property or swindled your parents or someone out of their property, then consider yourself not like most of us. I value my investment in this county by raising my family here and being a property owner. It really makes me question if rules are being made to keep people out, including developers and investors, or is there someone wanting to buy up unsellable property cheap so they can remain being the big fish in the little pond? The citizen has no control over our utility districts to extend city water to a piece of property or any development. With that being said, where is the definition written exactly what potable water is anyway. In politics, you believe nothing you are told without researching and checking what the law says, because the tactical skills of lying and manipulation of words is great amongst ones who want to control others. Please strike the 5 to 15 acre verbiage from the growth plan and replace the verbiage with 1 acre. TCA 658-104 is clear that the verbiage must be removed from the document before passage and not by resolution as you have been told. Once the growth plan is approved, and it cannot be amended for 3 years. Delton Mayberry told you this 3 acre rule would create a significant loss of property tax revenue. This fact should be enough to indicate the 3 to 15 acre rule is bad for us. I started in a single wide after college and laid down my roots to never leave. My roots allowed me to be there for my daddy, Burton Winters, when he needed my help to live independently to the age of 100.
Ms. Kathy, you've had 3 minutes and 30 seconds,
But
Can you wrap it up?
you will be able to, can your kids say the same thing?
The next person to speak is Ms. Lily Page, and that is in regards to Resolution 2532.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Lily. I'm the owner of 9231 Bates Trail, and I'm here today to speak about Resolution 2532. I've been to these meetings for the past 11 months regarding this rezoning request. I have passed the Planning and Zoning Board multiple times, each time leading me back to this commission. Each time I have been here with you all, you created new rules and hoops for me to jump through. My rezoning request was initiated long before the recent unjust rezoning, Resolution 2529. With that in mind, I'm here to respectfully ask for your fair and consistent review of my request to demonstrate that my property meets every requirement of R1 and fits within the county's own vision for this area. My land is inside the designated growth zone and already has public water, roadway access, emergency services, and nearby schools. This makes this request fully consistent with the plan and surrounding residential development. There also have been several recent rezonings from A1 to R1, rezonings just like mine, all approved by this commission, and I'm asking for the same fair and consistent consideration. I respect the responsibility each of you commissioners hold. I'm not here to challenge your policy. I'm here to show that my request aligns with the county rules, state law, and reasonable growth. I ask for your support tonight so I can move forward with the compliant, reasonable, and community aligned with my own property. After spending $8,000 in legal representation, I plan to continue this battle against your commission. If my request is denied, I will sign onto the pending lawsuit against the county. I also want to make a comment that 9231 Bates Trail, the reason why I am rezoning it is because the survey people just told me it was the best thing I could do, because it could allow me to get another house there with a smaller lot size. Thank you.
The next person to speak is Mr. Keith Tucker in regards to the land use plan.
I'd like to start by saying I appreciate for being able to speak tonight. I'd really rather be doing something else, honestly, as to speak, but, I'm against this 3 to 15 acres, or as one person wanted to say, we'll throw the numbers out, and then y'all figure out what to put in there. And I asked the question whenever I asked the first night I was up here, can you afford your house right now that you own with the job you've got at 3 to 15 acres tonight? I mean, I got a pretty decent job, me and my wife both do. But if I had to sit and buy my place today with the job I got, I couldn't do it. It's going to put a burden on our young people. I mean, there's no doubt about it. To have to come up with 3 to 15 acres, and 75% of the county is this map drawn tonight. It's going to put a burden on them. I looked up right before I come in here, 5 acres of land in Pinewood. It's going for $125,000, folks. $125,000. I know some people say, you know, they don't like the farmland being bought up. I say that's, you know, whenever something happens to you, whenever something happens to me, it's my kid's choice, whether they wanna sell it or whether they wanna keep it. That's America. That's just our values. I mean, they can either decide whether they wanna sell it or whether they keep it. Land's been divided in the United States since the day it come into institute, you know. If you don't like it, you know, I say you need to kinda get over it. I don't know how our young people are gonna afford it. A lot of people say that the county has grown too much. Well, since I graduated in about the year 2000, we've grown by about 4,000 people. Do y'all realize how many people's walked through them high school doors? There's been about 6,000 to 7,000 walk through them high school doors. This right here is like saying, shut the door in their face. We ought to have grown by 6,000 to 7,000 if all of them come back. And that's not even counting if they'd have got married and had kids. Some people say, hey, we've grown too much. I don't know. We're the 11th largest county in the state of Tennessee. The 11th largest. We rank 58th in population. We're the second largest county in the state of Tennessee to have the most land with the least population. Let them numbers sink in, you can Google it. Don't take my word for it. I've done the research on it. But I would like to close by saying that me being raised in Hickman County my whole life, I never would have thought that an acre of land and a house would not be good enough. For me, 25 years ago, I don't know for y'all, that was my American dream. That was my Hickman County dream. I don't know, that's all I'd like to say. Y'all take everything in account, and I appreciate it.
The next person to speak is Mr. Austin Page on Resolution 2532.
I just want to speak to this briefly. I want to clear up a few things because like Lily, my wife, has said, we've been in this for 11 months. I don't own this property. My wife owns this property. She got it from her father. There's, I believe, been some misconception amongst the community that maybe I've had her rezone this property. Not the case. Just want to make that clear. The other thing I want to bring to your, I guess, your thought process here is we've heard what they said about the road. And they're right. And is that Lily's fault? It's not her fault. It's a public road. It's a Chippentare County road that people have lived up and down it forever. We've passed she's passed I say we because you know we're married, but we've passed the Planning and Zoning Board multiple times. We've went through back and forth. She's simply trying to work within the rules that are set. She has potable water. She's on a county road. And another thing, this is not a development. It's 2 acres. It's a single family home. And for record, anywhere in Hickman County, if you have an acre of dirt, you can build a single family home or a duplex. That's by right. I have no control over that. So, I guess what I want to say here is, that's what I hear when Commissioner Clark talks to me. Anyway, so I guess what I was wanting to say here is, please follow through with the rules you've set. She has followed every rule and every obstacle that you've put in the way. Do what's right. We're just trying to build one single family home for her. Enough's enough. And as far as the residents go, some of the residents that have treated her the hardest have built a custom home right beside this property. Why is the road big enough for them to live on, but not for her to build a house on? That's simply not fair. That's all I have to say about it. And I apologize in advance that you have to hear me twice for the land use plan.
The next person to speak is Miss Cynthia Holloway. This is in regards to the land use.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for allowing us a moment to speak. I have a little bit different perspective than most of the perspectives I've heard from my fellow citizens. I have lived in a community where growth was coming, and they properly planned for the growth. And they did implement a tax, and people didn't like it too much. It took about 25 years for them to actually raise the funds that were needed to begin to build the infrastructure. And it did take a while once the infrastructure was built to actually see companies coming, major manufacturing and corporations coming to the area to set up shop. But the infrastructure was already in place. Somebody had made a comment about places like Hohenwald, you know, well, they created some infrastructure, nobody's coming, but they will. And things, people invested, they were willing to invest per tax, a very, very small tax, and they set up the infrastructure. I've also lived in third world countries where you didn't have a septic, you didn't have the modern conveniences that we are privileged to have in our community. We work hard for it. It's a privilege to be able to enjoy it. But I've also been in places like Murray County, where I have spoken with people who live in Murray County. I knocked on dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of doors, and I spoke with people there. Most of them were horrified. Their community has been ruined. It's turning into a squalor in some places in the name of growth and convenience. I think one of the major problems we have here in our county is that there are two opposing visions. One vision seeks to think in things on the short term. Short term, how does this affect me, myself, and I, and my family right here and right now? Then there's the other vision. People are thinking long term, and they're thinking about how can we set things up here to manage the eventual growth that will be hitting our area. So we have two competing philosophies and two competing visions. I'm a long thinker. I'm a visionary. I don't always think about, you know, taking care of me, myself, and mine, but I have a very different mindset. I don't always view life from black and white and what's in my immediate hands. But there are other people like me who are also visionaries, and they're thinking about things in the future. What we do here today is going to affect what happens to this community into the future. So the problem that the challenge you all have is trying to appease everybody, and you cannot do that. You just can't do it. So I say because we cannot come to a consensus, yeah, there should be a pause, because we need to give this a little more thought. As for the acre land situation, I just want people to be informed, if you're not aware. Taxes don't go down. Property taxes don't go down when a community grows and it begins to explode. It goes up. Anybody paying attention to what's happening in Southside Chicago right now? It's horrifying. And those people are in the struggle for their lives. 70 to, I'm sorry. Thank you so very much. I trust you all to do the right thing.
The next person to speak is Mr. Ethan Hudgens on the Bates Trail rezoning.
I'd like to start off by saying that I have lived on Bates Trail my entire life. I have watched it grow to what it is today, which is undersized, heavily traveled road that is no wider than it was 20 years ago. It has a dangerous blind spot that is right in front or right beside the residency that is wanting to be rezoned. We have had people from this location back out into the road and stop traffic. This is a safety issue. The road is only 11 to 12 feet in width, with the average vehicle ranging from 6.8 to 7.8 feet in width. Needless to say, it is impossible to pass a vehicle on this road without driving into yards and shallow ditches. It is also my belief that the individual asking for a rezoning is not only asking for that, but is also asking to be treated differently and held to a different standard than the rest of the residents on this road. By cutting the lot size down in a manner to where the lot size can be 30,000 square feet while the rest of us are held to the A1 1 acre standard. There is no existing real R1 property on Bates Trail. The reason that the owner doesn't understand our concerns is because they do not live on our road. This is why I'd like to ask the commissioners to take this into consideration tonight when y'all have y'all's vote. Thanks.
The next person to speak is Mr. Austin Page in regards to the land use plan.
Short here. As far as the land use plan that you've got in front of you, I want to echo what most everyone else has said. I believe if you reduce it down to 1 acre, it's going to be able to satisfy most of the people in the community, and I believe that's your best case solution to be in compliance with the state requirement to have a land use plan and not hurt the residents that need it the most. I don't believe you're not gonna stop developers, you're not gonna stop investors. The only people you're gonna hurt with 5 to whatever you guys decide acre minimum is a young person, someone who needs help from a family member, anything like that. You're not hurting developers at all. They're gonna come in, bond, and pave a road. That was a requirement before this. So I just wanna echo and say I think a 1 acre minimum, maybe even followed up by resolution like Commissioner Nash said, would be helpful. But as far as tonight, a 1 acre minimum, I think would satisfy.
The next person to speak is Ms. Sam Shorey on the Bates Trail zoning. Sam, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Sure, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I'll keep it real short. Everybody has different cases to make, you know, whether it's age-related, economy-related, or whatever. I've been there 6 generations with the Shore family, and I'd hate to see a big change when I came, you know, to the adulthood, to move away, become a professional, come back home, set my roots, you know, permanently here. I know everybody, you know, I've seen all the people here I went to school with, my teachers, etc. Everybody's impacted differently, but I would like to stick to the point that the road is narrow, and if it goes into more detail, I'll talk about that when the time comes. But everybody thinks one way, there's other things going on there, but I'll leave it at that.
The next person to speak is Ms. Leslie Hudgens in regards to the Bates Trail rezoning.
Hello. So first of all, yes, speaking on the Bates Trail rezoning, I emailed all you guys, so you already know my points, I'm sure, as far as last time too. Our custom home, we tore down an existing trailer, single wide trailer, and put a home there, and we have done many upgrades to that property. It was grown up, and we made it less of an eyesore. I mean, and we catered to the deer, turkey, all that. We're just trying to keep that kind of thing going. I'm not concerned with a single family home. Not concerned. But the thing is from what I have learned throughout all this, which I'm not an expert by any means, A1, you can build a single family home, they already have a house there, they can build another one, no problem. Rezoning, in my opinion, I feel like there's gonna be a multi-family dwelling being built. I don't know that, that's just a speculation on my part. But that's my fear with it, and you know, that's what we're trying to stop, and that's what we've been fighting for this whole time. I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their property. Single family home, fantastic, and I'm just trying to preserve what we got and keep the road how it is and not have a lot of extra stuff going on a really tiny area of property. That's really all I got to say. Thank you so much.
The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes from the Monday, October 27th meeting. Chair to entertain a motion to adopt. Motion by Commissioner Clark, second by Commissioner Chesser. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. The chair is unaware of any special recognitions, memorials, or commendations, anything even brought up. The chair is unaware of any elections that need to be taking place. Under appointments and confirmations, we have 4 people who've requested to be notaries in the county. Crystal Brown, Benjamin Knox, Shelby Pierce, and Tracy Wright. Those are the 4 names that we put forward. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Pickard, second by Commissioner Giannakis. Any discussion on those 4 names? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry,
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Paul Callicott.
Yes.
Clay Chester.
Yes.
Danny Clark.
Yes.
Todd Collins.
Yes.
Wayne Thomason.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yeah.
13 yes, 1 absent.
Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
13 yes, 1 absent.
The notaries are adopted. The UT Extension Service has put forward the following 3 names to be, take the place of some folks the vacancies that will occur on January 1st. The first one is Mr. Jonathan Lacasse, who's going to replace Dwayne Mathis. That's under he's a farmer. The second one is under farm woman, Hannah McClellan, to replace Miss Leah Owens. And the third one is a farmer, it's Mr. Tim Mathis, and that's to replace Mr. Tim Johnson. So the 3 new names are, Jonathan Lacasse, Hannah McClellan, and Tim Mathis. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Chesser, second by Commissioner Mayberry. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Ricky Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Paul Callicott.
Yes.
Clay Chester.
Yes.
Danny Clark.
Yes.
Todd Collins.
Yes.
Wayne Thomason.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yeah.
13 yes, 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change their vote?
13 yes, 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. Those names are approved. Ms. Donna, I assume you're going to take good care of that. Okay. The chair is unaware of any bonds that need to be approving, nor any quarterly reports. Next item on the agenda is communication from the county mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Early in November, I did attend the governor's conference. Hickman County is a recipient again of the Governor's 3-Star Award. On November the 12th, there was a ribbon cutting for Imagination Library. City Mayor and I both attended down there. It's a Jerry Dixon walking trail. If you get a chance to go see it, go see it. They did a fabulous job. I just want to give them some kudos there. South Central Railroad, we met with them on the 20th and we discussed the future plans for part of or the majority of the railway, what we could do with it. I don't know how familiar this body is with this, but south of the Duck River Bridge, there's not much that can be done with it. So we're looking at some tourism ideas. And we're in the midst of talking about all that to see how that's gonna look in the future. That property will still belong to the railroad. If we do some kind of tourism thing with it, it will still belong to the railroad. That way if something happens at a future date in Lewis County or something down there south of Duck River Bridge, if it gets repaired, then they can take it back and put the rail back. I've been working with emergency management in the South Central Tennessee Development District on the disaster relief grant. It was grant money that was allotted to Hickman County for the flooding events that we had. So we're seeking for the grant to be used for, can you read my own writing here? For some stream cleanup on the Piney River and some of its tributaries. The worst spots is gonna be hit first. There has to be an engineer study done, but it's all coming out of that grant. There is no match to that grant. That was the $1.9 million that was for the disaster relief. We are also looking into the floodplain management program plan for Hickman County. That will as well come out of that grant as well. Hickman County was denied the CDBG grant. I know we spent a lot of time on that. That was going to be used for cardiac monitors for EMS. And I just received a letter 3 days ago that we were denied that grant. So at the next health and safety meeting, we gotta come up with a plan. I wasn't gonna speak on this, but I will, the VSO position, I had very few inquiries about it. The majority of people that has called my office, wanted a full-time position. Now, after giving this some thought, I am gonna revert it back to a full-time position with some stipulations. Those stipulations are gonna be half the time is gonna be used in Centerville, and the other half, we're gonna try to find in my office, some space that they can help the veterans at the east end of the county, where most of the population is. So that will enable both VSOs for the city and the county to work together, and that way we can reach more veterans. And my opioid, will be on the end of the list there. Thank you.
Committee reports, planning commission.
Yes, the minutes are in the packet. We just had, one new zoning was it. We got some training coming up in December. That's about it.
Any questions for planning commission? Solid waste committee.
We did meet, and the minutes are in the packet, and Jordan is here if we have any, if anybody has any questions.
Any questions for solid waste? Health, safety, and properties committee.
We had a meeting, it was a short meeting. The thing about the solid waste and public safety Monday night is that it comes so early in the month. A lot of times the trustee and the finance office really don't have anything for us. So we did manage, the only vote we took was we did manage to have the ambulance services financial statement, and we approved that. Other than that, there wasn't a lot done. And I was thinking about canceling the meeting while I was giving this report, since it's December and the legislative body won't meet 3 days before Christmas. But the mayor just informed me, and I heard it for the first time, that there may be a need to, on that, so you'll be hearing from me on whether or not we have the meeting after I have a chance to talk to the mayor on what we may or may not be able to do with the December public safety meeting. That's all I've got. Any questions?
Could we get a small update on the Pinewood EMS station, just where we're at?
Not from me, I haven't been out there 2 or 3 weeks. The last time I was there, the drywall's hung, the drywall's finished, the outside soffit is done. If you're looking for any kind of timetable, but I have no knowledge of that.
Anything else? Finance committee?
Finance committee did meet, minutes are in the packet. I would like to make a motion to approve the financial summary for October.
Have a motion by Commissioner Jordan and a second by Commissioner Giannakis to approve the financial summary for October 2025. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Richie Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Longyear.
Yes.
Paul Callicott.
Yes.
Slade Chapman. Yes. Danny Clark.
Yes.
Todd Collins.
Yes.
Wayne Thompson.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
13 yes, 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
13 yes, 1 absent.
Summary report is adopted. Anything else from the finance committee?
No, that's not.
Budget, finance, and human resources committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met, the minutes from the meeting are in the packet. We do have 10 budget amendments to review. I'm going to group 9 of them together, and then we'll handle one by itself. So, get this started. Budget amendment 2630 in the amount of $900,330.43. This is for some school grants and approved by the school board. 2631 in the amount of $137,425. This is to record some sped transportation costs, allocating it to the appropriate accounts. 2632 in the amount of 40,000, this is a Homeland Security grant. 2633 in the amount of 65,000, this is the reclass from medical for, the jail. 2634 in the amount of $3,951, this is to bring budget in line with the grant contract. 2635 in the amount of 12,000, this is a titling supplement, for Casey's office. 2637 in the amount of 9,000, this is for election workers for the special election in Tennessee, District 7. 2638 in the amount of $1,800, this is a solid waste software billing, they're having to replace some software, so this is, some, cost to replace that software. And then 2639 in the amount of 100,000, and this is for the safe baby court, that Judge Puckett, talked to us all about, and I move to approve all these budget amendments as presented.
Commissioner Giannakis, let me just make sure I got this right. 2630, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, or 35?
35.
35. 37, 38, and 39.
Correct.
Those are the 9. So I have a motion by Commissioner Giannakis to accept those 9 budget resolutions, second by Commissioner Thomason. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry?
Yes.
Ron Puckett?
Yes.
Ricky Murray? Yes. Keith Nash? Yes. David Pickard?
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill?
Yes.
Paul Callicott?
Yes.
Clay Chester?
Yes.
Danny Clark?
Yes.
Todd Collins?
Yes.
Wayne Thomason?
Yes.
Steve Janakis?
Yes.
Dusty Jordan? 13 yes, 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
13 yes, 1 absent.
The 9 are adopted. Commissioner Giannakis.
Budget Amendment 2636 did not pass the Budget Committee. However, I would like to make a motion to approve this budget amendment in the amount of $15,000. This is for Casey to be able to utilize the open meetings software as well as the equipment for open meetings to help the commissioners bring it into the year of 2025.
I have a motion to approve Budget Amendment 2636, which did not pass the committee, by Commissioner Giannakis, and a second by Commissioner Jordan. Any discussion on 2636? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry?
Yes.
Ron Puckett?
No.
Ricky Murray?
No.
Keith Nash?
No.
David Pickard?
No.
Matthew Barnhill?
Yes.
Paul Callicott?
Yes.
Clay Chester?
No.
Danny Clark?
Yes.
Todd Collins?
Yes.
Wayne Thomason?
Yes.
Steve Janakis?
Yes.
Dusty Jordan?
Yes.
8 yes, 5 no, 1 absent.
8 yes, 5 no, 1 absent. Budget Amendment 2636 is adopted. Anything else from the Budget Committee?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Health Foundation. Agricultural Extension Committee.
After 40 years of teaching and working with UT Extension in this county, I will be retiring come December 31st, in case you have not heard. Gives me 30 years, almost 30 years with Extension. With that said, we had an Ag Committee meeting tonight. Before this meeting, they hired 2 new employees that had gone through a search, and the new Family and Consumer Science agent is Emma Mars from Perry County, and she will start working here January 1, and that's the position that Autumn Vespy held. It's been open for several months, not many applicants. We interviewed a couple times, and we finally found a good candidate. And my 4-H part will be filled by Scott Reese of Humphreys County. Originally, he's working in Murray County, and he is transferring in here to do the 4-H program starting January 1. As far as my county director duties, Amanda Matheny, the county director in Perry County, will fill that position. She will work between both counties, and she will work with the budget. I told her I'd be glad to work with her, and I know our ag community chamber, county commissioners will. But she will be attending county commissioner meetings and giving those reports starting January 1. I've enjoyed it, but I will still be here in Hickman County.
Thank you, Ms. Bradley.
Thanks.
Public Records Committee. Economic and Community Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few quick updates. Only 4 points tonight. We have officially secured the $100,000 Broadband Ready Communities Grant for our free Wi-Fi project on the square and at the Ag Pavilion. That is very good news, learned this week. So in the coming weeks, we'll meet with our amazing partners. We have Chamber, Meriwether Lewis, of course, Main Street, and the Ag Pavilion new person. Thank you, Donna, for your help up until now. So we'll be working on what the scope of that project will look like. That's $100,000. Doesn't mean it'll be free Wi-Fi and square and Ag Pavilion forever, but understanding what we can get for that amount of money. Could it be 2 or 3 years? Money through Friday on the weekends? Who knows? We'll be working through the scope of that project. That is very good news. Unfortunately, we were not awarded the $50,000 round 2 3-star grant that we made a run for. I made a run for additional support and funding for our continued land use plan efforts. The state said they had more high priority projects and to talk to them next year during round 3. So we'll probably approach and maybe make a few changes on our application to see if support is still available during round 3. Third, we had our end of year and our final year end joint economic development board meeting. It was very well attended. We had a guest speaker. We had Chris Clark, founder and president of Third Day Beverage, to share his plan and future growth strategies and his future forward vision for his company here in Hickman County. Very intriguing and captivating. We appreciate the time he gave us to share his insights and plans for his business growth here in Hickman. And finally, calendar reminder. This is for the pilot and TIF training. I think this is what you were talking about, Claude, the training that Planning Commission is going to actually support, host, sponsor, if you will. We decided there were so many people who were interested and needed training on pilot, which is payment in lieu of taxes. It's an incentive that you give businesses when you're looking to do business attraction. You try to find ways to bring them in, and pilots often do that, but people don't really understand the intricacies of what that is. And so the Planning Commission has decided to offer a countywide program for organizations that this makes sense for this class. It's going to be Tuesday, December 9th at the EOC building at 6 o'clock, because it's an hour-and-a-half training. At 6 o'clock, we have a hot buffet that's going to be served and catered. And at 6:30, our facilitator, Tom Trent, attorney Tom Trent out of Nashville. Apparently, he's a prolific writer of the pilot rules for the state of Tennessee. He'll be delivering that class. He'll hit the stage at 6:30, and we'll probably go again an hour and a half at the EOC. So if you're planning to attend, commissioners, aldermen, city IUB, county IUB, planning, zoning, any other organization who's interested in understanding the details and the complexities of what pilot is and when to offer and when to not do it, please give me a call or RSVP. I need a good number on catering, okay? Any questions for any of this, please feel free to call me at any time. And Chair, that's all I have.
What was that date again and time?
It is Tuesday, December 9th at 6 p.m. The buffet opens at the EOC. Pete said we can do it on Tuesday, but at 6:30 because we got to get started. Attorney Tom Trent will hit the stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Industrial Board. Opioid Settlement Committee.
We met, the opioid board had some, audits they were doing for the money that was distributed previously. So we're in the process of doing that. We still got 2 or 3 organizations that we have to do the next meeting, which is coming up.
Animal Shelter Advisory Board. Library Board. Any other committee or board reports?
I think you got beer board on me.
Beer board. I apologize. Beer Board.
Beer board met during recess of the budget committee and, approved an application from, AK Market on, 9620 Highway 46 in Mount Apple, and that was all the business we had. That's all I've got. Anybody got any questions?
Any questions for the Beer Board? The chair would entertain a motion for all these minutes to be approved and put in our packet. I'm sorry, I overlooked one. Board of Zoning Appeals.
We had a meeting and minutes should be in the packet. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Eric with the BZA? Now the chair would entertain a motion to have it part of the packet. Motion by Commissioner Barnhill, second by Commissioner Thompson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Commissioners, talk to me after this meeting or tomorrow, and we'll determine how many of these committees are going to end up meeting, and we'll revise this list and try to get that out. And then determine based on the business where we're going to be doing. At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll resume with unfinished business.
That's a brilliant idea.
Grand.
I mean, I like the text. To get iPads, stuff.
Where did he kill that? Colorado or somewhere. Yeah.
My baby girl got married.
That's me. It's not a mule deer.
Commissioner, go back to order.
YouTube's going up before. Their faces a little bit.
Have your attention. Thank you. The next item is under unfinished business. Is Resolution 2532, rezoning property located at 9231 Bates Trail. This has been discussed a bit before. I had several comments on it. I think each of the commissioners received letters from some legal folks in regards to this matter. And since we had a previous issue with this that resulted in a lawsuit that was ultimately dismissed, I felt like it was incumbent upon us to hear from our county attorney in regards to the things that were put forth in that letter. So without further ado, County Attorney Dan McLemore.
Thank you, Chairman. So all of you have heard arguments from Lily Page and her attorney in support of rezoning the property at 9231 Bates Trail in Laos. And we've all received Ms. Page's email communication dated November the 3rd, in which she advances these arguments in more detail. Ms. Page and her attorney would like you to believe that you're required by law to approve her application since it has been approved and recommended by the Hickman County Planning Commission. That is not the case. As county attorney, I want you to know that Hickman County Commissioners, as Hickman County Commissioners, you have broad discretion in considering the application of Ms. Page to rezone her property from A1 to R1. Under Tennessee state law, county commissioners have broad discretion to deny applications for rezoning so long as their decision to deny has a rational basis. In Cunningham versus Bedford County, which was a 2018 decision of the Tennessee Court of Appeals Appeals of Nashville. The court found that the Bedford County Commission acted lawfully in denying the petitioner's application for rezoning of his property from residential to commercial. The court stated that denial of Mr. Cunningham's application by Bedford County was not arbitrary and capricious because community opposition is a rational basis for denial. The court went on to say that legislators do what legislators do. They listen to their constituents. They test the wind. They try to please as many people as possible, consistent with the Constitution and good conscience. And they are not to be condemned for doing so. That is their job. So the bottom line is it is appropriate for commissioners to consider the views of their constituents when deciding on a rezoning resolution. The County Commission is not bound by the recommendation of the Hickman County Planning Commission and may approve or deny a rezoning application so long as there is a rational basis for doing so. And such rational basis may be based on community opposition to the rezoning application. And if anybody has any questions beyond that, I'm happy to answer.
Does anyone have any questions for the county attorney? I'm sorry, you're not recognized, you're not part of this body. Thank you. Does any commissioner have a question for the county attorney? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have before you Resolution 2532. The sponsors out of the Planning Commission are Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Colacott. Does anyone want to speak to this matter?
My vote will be no different than it was a couple of months ago. I can't see anything, there's no new information, nothing's changed, public opposition has not dwindled, if anything, it's increased. I'm a sponsor on it because I'm on the planning committee, not because I endorse it.
Any other comments on Resolution 2532? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry,
Pass.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Berry,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
No.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
Yes.
Paul Calcott,
No.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Danny Clark,
No.
Todd Collins,
No.
Wayne Thompson,
Yes.
Steve Janakis,
No.
Dusty Jordan.
No.
Let's see, 6 yes, 6 no, 1 pass, 1 absent.
6 yes, 6 no, 1 pass, 1 absent. The resolution is not adopted. Oh, sorry. Does any commissioner wish to change his or her vote?
6 yes, 6 no, 1 pass, 1 absent.
6 yes, 6 no, 1 pass, 1 absent. Resolution is not agreed to. The next item is Resolution 2534, rezoning property located on Highway 100 in Bon Aqua, Tennessee, from A1 agriculture to R1 suburban residential. The sponsors of this resolution are Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Callicott. Do either of you wish to speak to this matter?
This is the first hearing on this one.
This is first hearing on this. This will be brought back. Does any commissioner wish to have any discussion on this during the first hearing? All right. We'll have that back in January. And the applicants are aware that, let me back up. The applicants are under the impression that there will not be a December meeting. That's still yet to be determined. But if not, it will be heard at the January meeting. The next item is Resolution 2535. It is sponsored by Commissioner Callicott and Commissioner Harrod, who is not here tonight, with another Commissioner Chester, who's going to sign on. And this is to add a road to the official county road list of Hickman County, Tennessee. Commissioner Callicott, would you like to speak to this?
Yes. Very short road, goes to a cemetery. There's been some confusion in the past about if it was a county road or not a county road. The Skeltons, who own all the way around the road, they're in favor of this. They're the ones that brought it to the road commission, and they're here tonight. And it went through the road commission, and I urge you to support it.
Anybody else wish to speak to resolution 2535? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Ricky Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhart.
Yes.
Paul Calhoun.
Yes.
Clay Chester.
Yes.
Danny Clark.
Yes.
Todd Collins. Yes. Wayne Thompson.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
13 yes, 1 absent.
13 yes, 1 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change their vote?
13 yes, 1 absent.
Resolution 2535 is adopted. Next item is consideration of Hickman County Land Use Plan. So let's make sure we recap and understand where we're going with that. We received this from the Planning and Zoning with their approval. It was on the agenda in October for us to have a discussion about, and there was some discussion in October. Subject to that, we had a work session last Monday night, which there was a lot more discussion. And this week, we're here, it's on the table for you. Look at it, we can take whatever edits anybody wants, we can do whatever anybody wants to at this point. When it becomes clear that there's 8 commissioners, at least 8 commissioners, who's gonna approve of this, of whatever the plan may be, then we'll take that document that's been edited, been amended, and we'll send it back to Gresham Smith for them to put the finishing touches on this, if you will. So then we'll have a document that will have been heard by the Planning and Zoning and should be tentatively approved by this body. It'll come back before this body with a resolution that will say that that's going to be accepted as the new land use plan. Now, I'm not going to write that resolution until I know what dates to put on it and that sort of thing. So I don't want to sit there and continually rewrite this. So there needs to be a document that at least we're confident in garners the support of the majority prior to sending it back to Gresham Smith. And then after it comes back from Gresham Smith, it will be voted on with a resolution at the next convenient time for this body to meet, which more than likely is not going to be December. But, so I just want to make sure everybody understands the path forward as we move forward. And so at this time, we have the land use plan is on the table, and we'll entertain motions to do something with it. Commissioner Giannakis.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to be able to change some wording that's in the document. I've handed out 11 pages with some adjustments to the wording. In essence, basically this wording removes all mention of acreage in the document. Does everybody have a copy of that before I proceed? All the commissioners. Oh, you always want to say that, I'm sure. I'll go through those adjustments page by page. And I did put page numbers at the bottom of what I handed out. There's 11 pages total. On page number 1, which references page 28 of the land use plan, remove all the words in parentheses. So remove typical density of 1 unit per 3 to 15 acres. Remove that completely. Page 2, referencing page 29 of the document, remove the greater than or equal to 1 acre and remove the typical density of 1 unit per acre. What I tried to do was get a screenshot of what the document was at the top and try to put the adjustments at the bottom. Page 3, which references page 30 of the land use plan, remove the 0.5 acre lot sizes in parentheses and the 1 acre lot sizes in parentheses, and also remove the typical density of 1 unit per 0.5 to 1 acre. Page 4, which references page 31 of the land use plan, remove in parentheses 1 unit per half acre and remove the typical density of 1 unit per half acre or less. Page 5, which references page 32 of the land use plan, remove the typical density of 1 unit per half acre to 1 acre. On page 32. Page 6, which references page 33 of the land use plan, remove the typical density of 1 unit per quarter acre or less. Page 7, which references page 39 of the land use plan, in the section where it says agricultural preservation, it shall be stated that it will be A1 and this place type support agricultural development. A1 allows lots as small as 1 acre. This zoning would be low density with a mix of agricultural uses. In the rural places, reworded to state, A1 and rural places are similar in visual and land use character, but have slightly higher development density. This zoning district is generally compatible to be restructured into any of the 9 future land use place types due to its relatively undeveloped nature and large lot size, so long as specific utility permitted use and lot size requirements are accounted for during the rezoning process. So that verbiage would replace both those sections of agricultural preservation and rural places on page 39. Page 8, which references page 40 of the growth plan, land use plan, I'm sorry. The amendment would be in the residential growth. R1 and this place type both support low to medium density development and focus on single family development or duplexes. However, R1 currently allows higher density development with lots being as small as 15,000 square feet, whereas residential. In the town residential, it would be restated to say R1 and this place type both support medium density development. However, town residential place types also aim for higher density development, including townhomes and multi-family residences. R1 can be rezoned to serve town residential purposes, provided that public sewer system or decentralized hybrid septic system requirements are met. Some R1 zones may be compatible with rural places and agricultural preservation place types, provided the R1 lots meet the development density and primary use of criteria of these place types. In the town residential, it'll state the R2 zoning district and town residential place type both aim for medium to medium residential development. The R2 zoning district requires public sewer systems, while in the town residential place type requires public sewer systems or decentralized hybrid septic systems. Some R2 lots may be compatible with residential growth place type as long as the R2 lots meet the minimum development density and primary use requirements of the residential growth place type. And in the community commercial, it states the C1 zoning district and community commercial place types are predominantly commercial areas which generally follow major transportation corridors. The C1 zoning district does not require public sewer systems on all lots, and the community commercial place type calls for public sewer or decentralized hybrid septic systems. Updates to C1 parcel sewer septic systems may be needed. C1 zoning district land area requirements are generally compatible with community commercial place type, but attention may be required for any residential units placed on these parcels. C1 parcels may be compatible with road crossroads and interchange area development place types as long as the parcels meet minimum lot size, public utility, and permitted use criteria of these place types. The general character of existing C1 districts may be currently developed for higher intensity use than these place types call for, and special consideration must be given to use type and intensity in these areas. And then referencing page 10, which references page 41 of the land use plan. The amendment would be community commercial. It would be restated to say the Z2, the C2 zoning district and community commercial place types are predominantly commercial areas C2 zones are generally developed for less intensive commercial use, so upscaling development to match community commercial areas land use vision may be required. The C2 zoning district does not require public sewer systems on all lots, while the community commercial place type calls for public sewer or decentralized hybrid systems. C2 zoning district land area requirements are generally compatible with the community commercial place type. The C2 zoning district is partially compatible with the industrial, rural crossroads, and interchange area development place types. The lower density and intensity of C2 zone developments may make these areas particularly suitable for repurposing into rural crossroads and interchange area development place types, which follow similar guidelines in terms of development intensity and preferred land use. In some instances, C2 zoning districts may be repurposed for light industrial use if lot size, utility, and development density requirements are met. Those are the amendments I'd like to make a motion to put forth to this body.
Have a motion by Commissioner Giannakis to accept these amendments. We'll need a second, and then I would suggest that we start that discussion of that, after that.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, you second, okay, I'm sorry, Commissioner Jordan second that. So, that was a tremendous amount of work. Thank you very much. To get that all done. Kind of like drinking from a fire hose, though, right that moment. So, Commissioner, does anyone have any questions about these changes that have been put forward?
I would like to just make a statement. I was basically trying to remove all the language except for what is already current law. A1 currently has 1 acre. That's why I left that part in there, and it should be left in there, in my opinion. I don't think that we should change that.
Commissioner Collins.
I was prepared to come in tonight, and I've got notes for this, and it's a lot of work, and I appreciate that we postpone using or even considering this future land use and continue with our old plan until this type of information can be put before planning and zoning and then brought back to us in an opportunity to look at it. That can't be done before January. I have a list, I'll be glad to give them to you. I support some of what you said because I had a chance to hear some of the things that is on my notes. But my suggestion is tonight that we abandon the push for this new land use and continue with the thought of using the one that we have until everything is clear, and that is not a month or two away. That's the thought we need to have here. So I don't even know if we push through what you are asking for. We need to make sure that we understand that this is not just do this and then in January we bring this right back before we have a chance to make sure that this meets all the criteria that we were asked to address. I'm done with that. Yeah, that was my thought. So.
First off, just as a basis of understanding, until a new land use plan is adopted, the old land use plan is in effect, it will not change.
Yeah, that was the
so there's a motion and a second on the floor for the changes that Commissioner Giannakis has brought forward. Again, I'm still looking for the will of the body. And and I'm just trying to help the body search its way forward. I know that was like drinking, that's a lot. And commissioners may not have to sit that thing side by side and do a little study, and I think we'll make those amendments available to the public. So, an option would be to, now that these amendments and these changes have been here, if we don't want to try to vote on that, is to table the motion to amend and then let everybody look at it and come back in here in January, December/January, and take that back up. That would be another option. But we have a motion and a second on the floor, and for it to be proper way to dispense with, it either A, has to be withdrawn, or B, to be a motion to table, and we move on. Am I correct, parliamentarian?
Yes.
Okay.
You will withdraw it.
I prefer not to. I prefer that we vote on it and put it into the plan, put it back out to the public, and then come back and vote on the overall, plan.
I'd like to make a motion that we table this till the next meeting.
Have a motion to table. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Collins. There is no discussion on a motion to table. So if you vote in affirmative for this, we will cease discussion on this until January, until our next meeting, which may either be December or January. To motion to table to the amendment, yeah. Making sure I'm looking at everybody that everybody understands. Roll call vote.
Ron Mayberry?
Yes.
Ron Puckett?
No.
Ricky Murray?
Yes.
Keith Nash?
Yes.
Devin Pickard?
No.
Matthew Barnhill?
No.
Paul Callicott?
Yes.
Clay Chester?
Yes.
Danny Clark?
Yes.
Todd Collins?
Yes.
Wayne Thompson?
Yes.
Steve Janakis?
No.
Dusty Jordan?
No.
8 yes, 5 no, 1 absent.
8 yes, 5 no, 1 absent. The motion to table the amendment is approved. I'm gonna have this, if it's okay with you, Commissioner, yeah, I didn't write, I put one little scribble mark on this. Do you have a clean copy?
I do. I can email you.
Or I'll trade.
Well, okay, yeah, appreciate it. That way I'll make sure that it gets on the county website tomorrow.
Make sure, but I don't.
Everybody can look at that. Okay. So that motion to table, we can take up other business in regards to the land use plan, or we can, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Barnhill. Is there a second? Commissioner Chester seconds. Thank you very much. We need some signatures.
That's why I did try to put it in such a way.